Hi, Brock here. Back with another video in my dev vlog series where I am learning game development. Right now I've been learning Unity with plans on getting into some of the other programs such as Blender and things like that to bring in assets. Now, I was quite surprised from the last video that there was another program that I was going to have to utilize quite a lot. And that was Adobe Premiere with my video editing. Now, back when I learned Adobe Premiere, I was in college. It was on CS3. Now, right now, I'm not producing income to put into new software. So, in all honesty, I'm still working off of CS6 instead of cloud, which I realized is a little bit of a negative with my transitions because, as you might have noticed, I had a lot of transitions in that last video. And in fact, I did not realize when I watch new YouTubers that their editors are actually doing transform transitions, which wasn't a feature in CS6. Now, one of the other things that I had no clue about was the impact of variable frame rates on audio syncing while editing. Now, I have made videos, I've converted them, and I've messed with the variable rate settings and things like that. However, this time I was editing a lot of videos from a lot of different sources, which I've decided to change. Before we get into that, though, let's talk about all the different cuts that I had to do. So, looking at just within the first 2 minutes of that video, the amount of cuts that I had to do, it's quite crazy. Now, one of the reasons that I had to do this was because I was cutting out word whispers that just sneak in there. And honestly, when you're doing a video, right now, I don't write a script and read it. I am literally just talking. Now, in order for that to become enjoyable for you guys to watch, I actually go ahead and try to edit out some of the things that make it difficult for a listener, especially if you were just listening. Now, that being the case, I actually have to edit out a lot of those and even when I just stumble over my own words. And in fact, one of the things that I've started doing, since I know I'm going to be editing my video, is I go ahead now and just pause, restate my sentence, and then keep going because I can edit that out. I truly understand why a lot of YouTubers hire editors so that they can just focus on the content creation and not worry about this stuff. And truly, I was quite surprised by how much editing I would have to do. Not just the editing, but something else you might have noticed is I don't have my headset on. And that's because while it works great for work, it doesn't sound that great for this. And so I'm using my Yeti, which is the microphone I use for my ASMR channel. Now, my ASMR channel, I'm just doing audio. I'm not worried about doing video on that, at least not right now, which is why I didn't really have that much experience in the variable frame rates. So what happened is the variable frame rates actually caused a desync, and so I actually had to re-encode all of those videos. Now, luckily, I didn't have to redo all my cuts. I was able to re-encode them, replace the source, and all my cuts worked, which was great. Now, one of the other changes that you might notice is the fact that I am able to transition just like that. And in fact, my video's in a different spot. I actually can control it like this. And how I'm doing that is I'm actually using OBS, which I've messed with in the past, especially when I got a webcam for work. I wanted more control over my webcam, so I tried out OBS to do that. Now, I felt like it was more for streamers and things like that, but in all honesty, it works great for any type of video content like this. So it's not just for streamers. This actually makes it so that I have a lot more control over what I'm sharing on my screen than what I was doing previously. And it allows me to have my webcam or video source recording at the same time. So it gives me a lot more control, and also it kind of removes some of the editing that I had to do with my other one, because I was actually recording from different sources and I was pausing and taking breaks. Now, one of the other things that I've really noticed really lends itself to having really easy to listen to and watch videos is what's in your environment, the audio quality, the actual video quality, and then how the actual editing has been done. I wasn't necessarily thrilled with my first video, and that's okay, because I've learned techniques now that I believe will improve things. Now, I will still be editing this so that it is easy to watch for you. Hopefully you still enjoy the video even with my old style transitions, since I don't have Adobe Cloud right now, so I can't do that cool transform transition. That is how a lot of the current YouTubers actually edit their videos together and make them seem so fluid. Now, let me go ahead and show you where we left off last week. So, jumping into the game, we had that fact that we could move the player left and right. We could jump, but we can't jump in the air, only when we're touching the ground. Of course, we made those round objects, and we triggered a respawn event that also manipulates the user interface. That's where we left off, and I'm pretty happy with how far I got. But I don't want to stop there, but I don't want to just stop right there. I want to keep going. And even though I did a lot of focusing on the video editing part, now I've gotten that kind of down pat, and so I'm ready to keep on learning inside of Unity. I just want to say thanks to all the friends and family that have supported me already with likes, comments, and talking to me in person about the project, and really supporting me in different ways of just being encouraging, of taking the time to watch the video, and even going as far as to wanting to help contribute to it. So really thank you all, and you really help me want to keep working on this. So let me show you what one of my family members, one of my sisters, actually did to help me out. She provided a little bit of a sample for me to use, and specifically a audio sample. Alright, so we're going to jump in the game. I'm going to move around and notice this sound effect. Yep, that is the audio source that was provided from my sister. So there we have it right now, and we'll see what we come up with next. Well, I've had my first, I guess, mishap with Unity. I noticed that when I was doing that audio demonstration that my user interface was gone. And I started looking around and like my scripts, which of course I've been editing outside of Unity, are correct, but I guess that perhaps I didn't save my Unity project, and I did have to shut down my computer. I must not have saved it and lost some of my work. That's quite surprising that I did that, but definitely user error on my part. I don't think it's anything to do with Unity. So that's right. I'll just get back to where I was and keep on going. Okay, so I have gotten myself not only back to the point where I was, but also I went and took this opportunity to improve on some things, do things a little bit differently. So let me go ahead and show you that. So inside the Unity project, I actually went ahead, and one of the suggestions in the comments was about doing a collider that is the trigger for the death, instead of it being math based on how far down the player is in the world. So what this will allow me to do, and I haven't quite done it here, but what it will allow me to do is basically, have it so that I can have the map come down here, and I can just change this collider, depth collider, to be shorter, and then have another one elsewhere that will continually trigger it. I also redid some of the way my scripts are connected to each other, and whatnot, and I added in some more effects. So let me go ahead and show you guys what it looks like now. So got the user interface back in here, and again, we can still control character. So we have here where the character is dying, the screen turns red, the user interface changes to the correct amount. So if I do that again, that's what we had going on before. And now, I have the screen changing right. Also, I messed with particle effects to simulate like a little transporter effect, and I was able to replicate that where I could have it where it stops and turns on and things like that. So pretty happy with where I've gotten things at. I feel like I've gotten to experiment with some more parts of Unity. I did try, my next thing I wanted to do was bring in some clouds, some low poly clouds, and have them, floating across the screen. However, when I got into Blender, my computer had issues. I'm not entirely sure. So I will experiment with that a little bit more later on. But I do want to say thank you to, again, all my friends and family that I've been watching and supporting and asking me when's the next video coming out, things like that. It really adds to me wanting to do this, even when I have setbacks like this where it's like, oh no, like things messed up. Instead of just giving up, having that support of you guys asking about the progress really does motivate me to continue and want to make these. So again, I want to thank you all, and I hopefully should have another video. I know this one was late, so hopefully I won't be late on the next one. 2 weeks, that's the goal. So hopefully that works out, and yes, of course, please message me if it hasn't come out in 2 weeks, because I probably need the nudge like I needed the nudge this time. So, all right, thank you guys.